Welcome back, everybody, to the NJCU stream. We're back after our prolonged break as St. Joseph's defeated Nazareth's team, and they're moving on to the quarterfinals with us. NJCU, currently undefeated, hasn't even dropped a game, and we are looking to continue that streak, taking on St. Joseph's.
Indeed we are, and St. Joseph's team, we were actually able to get a bit of a peek at them as they were playing against Nazareth. We believe their squad is going to end up being a Roy named Seabass, a Pokemon trainer named JJ, and the anchor of their team, their Hydra, if you want to put it that way, Bryce, the King DDD. I'm very excited to see Bryce match up against some of NJCU's players, because that ended up being the real sticking point. It felt like a couple of NJCU's game ones where Zieglet might fall behind, Artie might drop down, but Hydra is just able to pull the whole thing back. That's kind of how Bryce was playing out in St. Joseph's round of 16 against Nazareth. So it's something that we'll keep our eyes out for as this best of 3 series progresses.
Yeah, we did get the info that last year, Bryce was one of the only players to really impress NJCU to the point where they actually were the first team to ever take a crew battle against them. Bryce, the DDD was. And so that's pretty interesting. And because of that, it's like when you lose, like for a low level player's example, you lose to someone on Elite Smash, you go through, and you just practice against that thing constantly so you'll never lose again. I expect that's what NJCU have done, because you bleed once, you never want to bleed again. So we'll see how that goes as they put in a heavy against Zieglet.
I'm gonna say, this is a different player. This is Loki the Bowser. I don't know this person, but putting in a heavy against Zieglet might be a little bit of a problem.
Bowser's inability to just not endure hit stun for the lower percents is useful, but now up to 55, I'm pretty sure they could get a 0 to death if they got a grab. But it is going to be not a grab that gives them the advantages. Loki adds on the chip damage with these meaty hits. The claws are coming out, but the spike right there is going to give Zieglet the stock lead.
Yeah, great job by Zieglet finding Loki off stage. Definitely not a place you necessarily want to be as Bowser. Your hitbox just so big, and now that's where Zieglet shines, just racking up the damage. Exact same thing as last time.
Zieglet is like, you made me wait for this. You're not killing my momentum after what I did. If you don't remember, Zieglet 8-stocked the other team after getting 3-stocked his first game. So that's the mindset Zieglet is going into this in, as he gets another grab, but the DI behind does give SJU's player, Loki, a chance to survive, a chance to get a stock off. So, 8-7 right now, not bad at all, but adding in this chip damage, it just keeps racking up.
Yeah, the chip damage is just terrifying here. Always have to be afraid of what the Luigi's going to do.
Zare's off stage.
Thankfully, Bowser can survive a little bit longer, but Zieglet's done a really good job at finding Loki off stage where kills can actually happen. Bit of an optimistic up B, but not going to get seriously punished. And there it is. That one connects.
Another not so optimistic up B because it worked.
It worked. It's not optimistic if it works.
Zieglet takes an early lead for NJCU, but remember, there's still an anchor waiting for them. I'm curious though, Pokemon trainer or Roy, what's going to come next against the Luigi? I would think Roy, but this off-stage gameplay is what really inspired me here. Zieglet, the combo game wasn't quite on point because Loki's combo DI was actually very good. Always somewhere Zieglet didn't expect them, but it was a very linear recovery, and it was just Zare into Dare, Zare into Dare, or just Zare, or just Dare. Like, it just worked constantly.
Yeah, and it's really scary playing against a character like Luigi, who's always able to hit you with something. Loki just took so much damage over the course of it that something like shrugging off hit stun, I mean, it worked for some of the lower combo things, but once you got to the higher percentages, you kind of just get caught, and tried to find something big right there. But Ziglet's great at punishing those. So I'm not really sure what we're going to see up next. I wonder, because I don't think Loki playing the Bowser is a great matchup into Ziglet, who they must have expected to come first on the Luigi. And I don't think it's a good matchup into either Palutena either. So it's possible that they needed to substitute Loki in for other reasons. So I'm not exactly sure who we're going to see second here, whether it is Roy or whether it is Pokemon Trainer.
I would definitely think the Roy coming in against Luigi.
Yeah, I think overall Pokemon Trainer might be a bit more flexible of a character if you can get through the Luigi, get to the next matchup against Palutena, maybe you'll have a little bit better of a time. Although, to be honest, it's not a bad matchup for the Roy by any means, the Palutena.
But it goes beyond just character matchups over to player matchups, because Ziglet is a player who really gets in these people's heads. I mean, when you're... Luigi, I think, is one of the best characters for just getting into their mental games, to really disrupt how they're thinking. Like, when you just get gimped constantly, again and again and again, it's frustrating. That's why I'm a Puff player, because it's funny. But it's tough to come back from that. So if Ziglet is able to just get one stock off, even if he's at like 120%, I have a feeling we could just be seeing a 2-stock coming in, because that's what happens when you're against Luigi.
Yeah, and it's awfully scary when you're in a position like this, because Ziglet, right off the bat, took a pretty significant lead. That is difficult for St. Joseph's to have to contend with. You're already coming back from a deficit. Bryce is absolutely a player who can try to pull that back at the very end of the day, but Hydra is a player who you don't necessarily want to be up against in that scenario. So best case scenario for St. Joseph's at this point is trying to go into the back leg even, and it'd be very difficult if Ziglet is able to pull out a win here, which 2 stocks on 3 stocks I don't think is that ridiculous with how Ziglet's been playing recently.
Yeah, Ziglet, as I said, most improved. I feel like Artie does get left in the dust, because the way Artie handled that Peach last time, who was it, Calm? Really, really nice. Artie definitely showing a lot more stability. I think Artie is probably one of the most consistent players. Well, besides Hydra, but like, no offense, but Hydra laps both of them in both scenarios.
Ooh, Bryce is up second. Okay.
Yeah, you just want to get Ziglet out of the way, halt that momentum. I don't think that's a bad idea.
It's not a horrible idea, but if Bryce goes down here, they might be in some issues. So.
Yeah, neutral is neutral until you get grabbed. That's the thing. So Ziglet's looking for one thing. Bryce knows they're looking for one thing. So they got to be careful about it. It hasn't been going for too many grabs, though, is Bryce.
Ooh.
That inhaled at the ledge.
Yeah, that's the thing. Luigi can kind of hop in from above on the inhale with these battlefield platforms, so you always got to watch out for that. Ziglet's got to watch out for Gordon here.
Well, it's a Gordon. Look out. But
it's Gordon.
As Ziglet is... Can you tell we had an hour to hang out and watch these people? And Ziglet is going to have that stock stolen away. If Bryce can get away with getting this 2-stock right now, I am actually feeling nice about Bryce against Artie. I mean, Palutena is sort of the mid and low tier destroyer, and I feel like DDD is the very definition of that. But you can definitely get cheeses. Ooh, from downtown, Gordon will smack into Ziglet, as they will actually get sucked into that. Oh, Bryce.
That was clever. That was very clever.
Did Bryce just pull Ziglet under the stage with the windbox of Inhale to gimp the Luigi?
That was very neat. I liked that a lot.
Oh, that...
I know this is the NJCU stream and that we're favoring NJCU, but my goodness, that was very good. And that only really worked because,
air dodge.
yeah.
Wait, oh,
okay.
Hold on. I actually know exactly what happened there. Any normal player Any normal player would go to hit you right there. Look at this. You're expecting a back air right there. So you tech. But that's the Wi-Fi getting to you because you can't react to the tech. Instead, you just air dodge and you're dead. That's exactly what happened to Ziglet. Guarantee it. Scout's honor.
Yeah, and a little disappointing for Ziglet, of course, but it does leave this one tied up 6-6. Excuse me. Presumably already up next, but to be honest, given that Bryce is already here, maybe Hydra shows up. They just say, hey, you've already pulled out your best player, we'll pull out our best player, and we'll see how that goes. Potentially dangerous, offering into that 3-on-3, leaving that last matchup just to be Artie versus whoever the last player that St. Joseph's has is. But I don't know. It's not a horrible idea. I think either way, whether it is Artie or Hydra, it's still a Palutena matchup. That's still going to be difficult for DDD regardless. Gordon can have an issue getting through the abilities of Palutena. I just wanted to say Gordon again, honestly.
For context, everyone, all of our loyal NJCU viewers, when we were watching the stream, they just kept calling obviously, while they're streaming, they're very big fans of SJU, so they just kept calling Bryce's Gordo's Gordon, and it stuck, and
Gordon.
It's a name. It says it on the name tag. As we're just waiting for the next player to come in. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, though, that Hydra is the correct pick. Both Palu's gonna be tough, but no offense to Artie, I feel like Hydra has less chance of falling for cheese based purely off of experience. Hydra is a player who's fought through countless Wi-Fi brackets. It's how they're ranked nationally, or they were, in the Wi-Fi Warrior rankings. So, if they manage to, I feel like they've encountered their fair share of DDDs, and they know what's up their sleeve. So, I think Hydra definitely the pick right now, and even though it does mean Artie might be a little benched if Hydra does do well against the DDD, I don't think it's... you just want to win. It's late.
Yeah, I don't think that the issue is as much with Artie being benched and more of whether Artie gets put in that end-of-game situation where you might have to take it one stock off of Bryce, or you might have to do a 3-on-3 against whoever the last member from St. Joseph's is, when you don't really have that prior information and are not as great as a Wi-Fi warrior. So that's what I would worry a little bit more about on the side of NJCU. But I still think that Hydra might just be the better pick, try to get this done here and now, and move on to game number 2.
Mm-hmm. I heard the music pause there, and I thought we were going into game. I was so excited.
Unfortunate.
We're still waiting on everything to get all set up. Oh, there it is. It's so happy to see a black screen, as it is going to be Hydra, the Palutena in black, taking on the King. 3 stocks of 3 stocks. 6-6 for both the schools.
All right, we are going to be on... This one's Unova Pokemon League? I think this one's Unova.
Kalos.
I always forget which one's which.
Kalos.
I can't... I try to tell from the background, and then I forget which one's which. I've played both of the games.
Very,
Even still, you're seeing why Hydra was the selected one here, able to rack up all that damage onto a big target like D2D, but Bryce just needs to find anything and might be able to rack up quite a bit onto Hydra.
So Hydra does need a forward air. Hydra giving a lot of respect because DDD might be able to chunk on a little bit of damage, but not really that much danger from staying away from them. Only a benefit as you get an opening like that to get Bryce off stage. Well, they actually got the 2-frame, but King DDD's up B has super armor. And the Gordo...
Gordon.
It covers the ledge, sticking in there. They actually dropped down a Gordo right on top of them. That could be hit by that back air, but the pressure is going to keep Bryce scared. As Hydra keeping it slow, only at 54%, but Bryce just closing the distance, going right in, getting the up air there, sending way out. Probably nice SDI there to go the opposite direction, as
Yeah, when that rage gets in there, you got to be scared of these big, strong attacks of King DDD. That was potentially scary, but very well done by Hydra to confirm
One
that stock
frame
there.
of an up smash. That's spooky. You
Still
gotta
eats a
admit.
Gordon, though.
Yep. But
Ooh.
the expensive flame, as we've seen, is Hydra's favorite combo tool that shouldn't be a combo tool. Getting a quick 48% on DDD, which is exactly what you need to do. You just gotta hit hard when that happens. But reading the jump off stage is gonna lead to a forward air to the face and tying up the stocks 1-1.
Sure does, but Hydra's got a lot of extra percent here. Bryce is just having issues getting down to the ground, but when able to do that, that's a lot of percent with the Gordon. Uh-oh, scary move.
Yeah, and you know Bryce isn't gonna miss that, so just teleport right behind him. There's some lag, but he's slow in that, so he's not gonna hit you. There's
Mhm.
Hydra. It's going above. Actually, evening up the percents right now. Bryce has control of the neutral game, getting the grab on the landing. Hydra gonna be hit by the Gordon. Now, Hydra is going to be trying to slowly take this back. The Nair will send Bryce off stage, and it's gonna be the stock. DDD has a lot of kill potential. Actually pausing the Gordon in midair.
Yeah, it's a big deal for Hydra here to kind of control this center stage. It's been a big issue when Bryce has been in the middle here because you can do that. You can do the Gordon. The explosive flame can kind of help Hydra get back on like that, but it can be very difficult if Bryce just decides to go deep, or if the Gordon is able to find Hydra there.
Ooh, look out, Gordon, because that is going to hurt. I can't believe the auto reticle knocks back the Gordo. That's actually very useful.
It's
but
more damage than I thought it had, for sure.
That's the up tilt, I think, going to be taking the stock from NJCU. 4-4 right now, but major percentage lead. But if Hydra slips up, it could be a deficit. Again, seeing this, very glad they sent in Hydra, because you don't want to let someone potentially take a single stock from Hydra, and then they have to deal with Bryce. You just want to get out of the way now.
Yeah, winning this would feel really good for NJCU because they would have one more stock for Hydra, and then all of Artie's stocks. Having to get through Bryce would be a lot more difficult, even though clearly Hydra's had a decent time on the matchup. Ooh, went for it all there on the ledge.
Oh, the drag down, tried to go to the up tilt, but not going to connect. Now, Hydra, very feasible. Oh, went for it all, but didn't get the right hitbox and the back air. Not going to finish it. That's going to be SJU still in it. Bryce keeping it alive. Going to avoid that 2-frame right there. Back on the stage, just running right through the explosive flame, but they hesitated. They didn't get the dash attack. They shielded for a moment. And that moment, that split second where they blinked, that was where Hydra seized his opportunity. Ran forward, got the grab, yeeted them out of there. And Bryce not going to take down Hydra like was promised to us. Hydra 4-2-3 right now for NJCU.
Yeah, that was really well played by Hydra towards the end there. Incredibly close between these two. I could definitely have seen that going the other way with a couple of minor differences, but great job by Hydra racking up the percent throughout this one. Bryce just did a good job of closing out a couple of these stocks. Hydra finding a couple of good back airs. It's always a good combo finisher. This one, Bryce just kind of found an up tilt. And that's always the great thing about D2D is even your slow moves can technically kill.
Yeah,
And then here you see Bryce
here
just kind of going for it all, but if you can shield that, then easily punishable.
Yeah, can we get a replay on that in a moment? Because that, in particular, that wowed me. The fact that, I understand why they did it. It's a high-pressure situation. But that 1 second of hesitation from Bryce actually might have been the entire game. And that shows how many little decisions are important. Look at this. They stop and shield, and then they go for the dash attack. It's heartbreaking, because with the rage, that would have killed. But Hydra, all in the end, had the nerves of steel to just get the punish, get the shield grab, and you're out of there.
And you know what? NJC will take those, take those every day of the week. Regardless, that is Hydra keeping one stock in this matchup and hopefully converting that one into a game 1 victory, and can try to leverage that into game number 2 where NJCU just improves so much. I mean, it's got to feel nice where a team that is so good at adaptation and so good at improving between games is already starting with a pretty solid advantage here. It's a bit different than usual, but it's still a 4-3 advantage going into this next matchup. And Hydra has only one stock, but still that one stock can absolutely mean all 3 of anyone else's stocks that isn't Bryce or Calm or another great player like that.
There's just something that puts them just on that slight next level. And I'm with you right here. I think it's a very realistic possibility. Hydra is an emotional player. But not in like the oh, I did bad, I'm gonna lose now way. In the if you frustrate me, I'm just gonna 3-stock you again and again way. Like, I remember at one point, I think it was week 2 or 3, Hydra was fed up. They had lost to like a Bowser Jr. player, and they came in and they 9-stocked the team. So that's the kind of stuff I'm expecting this late at night after SJCU took
So
a
will
while.
be JJ coming out. Pokemon
JJ.
trainer. All right. JJ will have to find this first stock on Hydra. That is the big thing. If you can get this first stock off Hydra, Artie is defeatable. Players have beaten Artie. Players have heavily beaten Artie. Nothing against Artie, absolutely. But it will feel a lot more doable if Hydra is beaten first and foremost. But when your Squirtle's getting comboed like that...
Going to the Ivysaur, but I actually do like that because you're not going to get 2-framed as easily, but the stage game, it's not, you just don't have the same quick movement Squirtle does, and Hydra's not going to get tripped up by the projectiles too much. Then you off stage with the down throw forward air. Now JJ's off. Can't get the edge guard really, but still going to yeet them off. One explosive flame, that's all they really need. Going to the Charizard, that's optimistic.
That is optimistic, but you're just getting at such high percent at this point where you just need to survive.
Yeah, and then
the classic Pokemon trainer setup of going between characters as you get higher in percent, but it's already going to be a bit of an issue when you're already this high percent just your first stock. And Hydra's not really in a lot of worry right here, just has to avoid getting tapped too much by these slow Charizard attacks and use the better spinning air. Yeah. That's the thing.
Down.
Charizard Nair is good, but not that good. JJ's already taken a big combo. Like, Squirtle's been basically neutralized in this matchup, and that is usually how you want to see most of the damage come through.
Oh, that was scary right there. Hydra. Oh, that's the scary neutral situation right there. Going to be okay for the second, but again, they keep just ending up above Hydra. Already back to the Charizard, and I think that's a good option because sometimes Hydra will just do something unsafe on your shield and you might be able to get a kill, but it's not like you got another player waiting for you. Like, you need to get this off now, and I'm not sure they're going to get the chance to as JJ, that fire-type Pokemon, almost got caught in the explosive flame, but that's not going to kill quite yet. Not on Charizard. Squirtle maybe, but not Charizard.
That was big. That might help JJ avoid getting 3-stocked here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right now might catch them. There's a lot of safe moves. Jump up and countered, and the air dodge. Oh, Hydra.
Not exactly what Hydra wanted there.
Sometimes you just gotta take the L and move on.
It was an interesting option. It was absolutely an interesting option. We'll take a look at it again after we look through these replays. Finding the back air there, very good. And then looking at this again, so does correctly read that something could be countered, but air dodges at a little bit of an awkward moment.
I think maybe I. It's not a spike. What happened? They get the counter, and then maybe they try and air dodge back to stage, and they angle it wrong. I think
Possibly, or it was supposed to be off the ledge, maybe?
they missed their ledge dash. Happens to the best.
Yeah. It definitely was something or Hydra didn't necessarily want, but even still, already going in with a stock advantage up against JJ. It might be close, but I have faith in Artie on this one. Definitely saw what needed to be done with this Palutena matchup into the Pokemon Trainer, because that was very close to being 2 stocks taken by Hydra, if not more, just based on what happened there. But we do have this last one coming up, and it will be an important one. It will be for the game. Not for the set, though. We still have at least one more game in this set to decide which one of these teams is going to the semifinals of ECAC. Here we go. Artie and JJ.
I feel like JJ does have a shot. 2 stocks, 3 isn't the worst situation you had, especially when they were at 150 before.
Yeah, it's definitely not a horrible situation for JJ to be in. Certainly, it could be a lot worse. We've seen Hydra come back from much worse than this, but definitely, I don't think either of these players are the anchors for their team, so it's just who can step up in this moment.
And off stage there, the first air dodge caught, the second is not, which gives Artie back center stage and catching the switch right there. Very early to switch to Ivysaur. I feel like Squirtle would have been good for another couple percent, but maybe they just want that ability to zone Artie out.
Yeah, it can also potentially catch very early kills. If that Vine Whip had landed, that would have been potentially deadly. There's a lot that Ivysaur can do at these middle percents, and isn't necessarily awful at chaining together those hits for combos or having a neutral game. See, this is where it turns into a bit of an issue. I don't necessarily like that Charizard switch. That felt a bit early to me. It felt like you could have stayed with Ivysaur for a bit and tried to fish for a kill with Ivysaur rather than moved directly to Charizard.
Yeah,
Still
but
got it in
Charizard,
the end there, but
what I've heard from people is Charizard is good, the best probably for cheesing ridiculously early stocks. Is we can see Artie being punished off stage right there. Gonna avoid the explosive flame, but they jump right into the pillar of light. As Artie will be finishing them off right there. JJ now tags in.
And I mean, that's not good for JJ, because even though you got a little bit of extra percent on there, you need to get 2 stocks out of it. If you can't find something here, then still actually chaining the up airs pretty well. So maybe, but Palutena does Palutena things sometimes, and always got to be watching out for that. Now already with the Charizard, that's definitely bold. Already definitely found a bit of extra percent last time when JJ went to the early Charizard. The question is whether JJ can find that kill. Ooh, that was potentially it. Ah, there it goes.
Last stock situation here, and it looks like they're sticking with the Charizard. It worked for a little bit, but Artie, I feel like, is starting to get the hang of it. Down throw now, but the DI out saves them from the forward air follow-up.
JJ's sticking with the Charizard to make sure that they don't get killed very early on in this one. Or can maybe cheese out something with that.
Ooh, driving up the percent with just 2 clean hits. Not going to run into the explosive flame, but the 2-frame is hit by Artie. Isn't quite fast enough, and now they're on ledge. That flame blast. No! Artie misses the ledge, and just like that, NJCU goes out not with a bang, but a whimper as they drop their first crew battle to the side of St. Joseph's College. Oh,
jeez, what a close one there. That, whew, boy, that,
I tried
incredibly close there. Great job on JJ's part, being able to make that last stock especially work, despite fairly high percentage the entire time. Really impressive Charizard play in order to find it there. I mean, already had a high percent at this point. Great back air there, finding already on the ground. But right here, already went for it all on the down air. Got caught with the flamethrower. Yeah, that was just... Felt like Artie was just a little bit out of place, and it felt like Artie had that one confirmed and just did not find JJ in the right place with the 2-frame. So incredibly close there. Whew, boy. That's got to feel bad if you're NJCU losing your first game like that, but still in this one. Down 1-0, but this is a best-of-3 series, so they win 2 crew battles in a row, and they still move on to semifinals, but you wonder if they want to change anything up, if they would rather Hydra take that last leg, even if potentially it has to be against both Bryce and against JJ, because it seemed like Hydra had JJ's number reasonably well. Did lose 1 stock. It was 1 stock to 1, but both Artie and Hydra both had questionable recoveries on their last stocks. You could call them SDs if you would like. But my goodness, that's something. That really was something.
And as we're getting into the next one, I actually think we are going to go to a quick break just to get everything set up, make sure everything is okay going into this next match, because NJCU got to win 2 consecutive crew battles if they want to take this home. So don't go anywhere. We will be back with the continuation of NJCU versus St. Joseph's. Welcome back, everybody. We're getting right back into it as NJCU is down 1 against St. Joseph's College, and you can see the energy already reinvigorating them right here, as immediately they're being a lot more aggressive. Loki looking to maybe get a little bit more done than they did against Ziglet last time, but it is still Luigi against the heavy.
Yeah, they've opted for the same matchups as last time, which is not too surprising as Ziglet took the much better end of it, and St. Joseph still won. So I'm not shocked that both of them decided that they just wanted to run back in the exact same way. We'll see if Ziglet can do a bit better this time. Already had the 0 to death on the first stock, but taking a bit more damage on this against the second one, so
yeah, I feel like
still done a really good job at comboing and just finding those little hits against Loki to rack up the percent without getting into too much danger. But that, I don't know that was necessary.
Yeah, that very easily could have been an up B out of shield, I believe, but since Ziglet playing it safe, which I appreciate. Gonna get the dash attack into Loki, gonna send him off stage as, well, the second dash attack too. This is where we see the gimps coming out, but it actually clanks with the Zaire that time. Loki get back onto stage. Ooh, nice air dodge to ledge. Good job there, Ziglet. But
oh wow, that did okay.
DI actually saves him. But the misfire actually, I think Ziglet might have been dead there if not. But still able to get back to ledge. Now,
certainly
a little bit of a scary
regardless.
situation. A lot of nerves.
The
dash attack. Too much lag to really get away with that one. As Loki puts themselves in the corner, Ziglet doesn't get the proper capitalization. So the up smash will actually scream KO.
Yeah, Ziglet definitely wants that rematch against Bryce. Definitely wants to try to help out their teammate Hydra a bit more. And oh my goodness, that was a lot of early damage. Those 0% combos Ziglet's been pulling off are really impressive. Ziglet's definitely the player that improved the most in those 2 games, between those 2 games, I should say, against Hartford earlier today. So we'll see. It looks like Ziglet's going to take 2 stocks up against presumably Bryce and
Oh, it is
Nice
Bowser.
matchup.
You never know against Bowser.
You never know. You're absolutely right. You never know. Ziggler does have to finish it
Oh,
off,
but you can't
but
just
at
air dodge on stage like
170%,
that. And
well,
doing a little plank in there. Just, Luigi celebrates. Bowser being a little unfortunate in terms of the recoveries. As oof, Bowser right now really, really hurting right there. And
yep.
they're probably going to have to get beat up by Ziggler again if NJCU takes this one. Which, I mean...
It's difficult, but if your team's winning, it's a little bit easier to stomach. I think the big matchup will be this next one with Bryce against Ziglet. If Ziglet can find even a single stock against Bryce, that would be astronomically huge for NJCU. But if it ends up the exact same and Bryce is able to... And I'm assuming Bryce is going to be up next and not JJ. I just feel like... I think having the middle one as the anchor might have been a better play for the side of St. Joseph's. Reason being that, I mean, they showed that JJ was able to take care of Artie. So the big issue is taking stocks off of Ziglet and Hydra. So I think they're going to bring out Brycey. That's what I think they're going to do. And Ziglet is going to have to try to find at least a single stock on Bryce to make sure that they have comfortable insurance for JJ at the end to make sure that Artie does not have to deal with that same kind of matchup. I mean, that's about as good as you can hope for Ziglet in the first matchup, so we kind of saw what we expected. The big thing is going to be what comes up next.
I have faith, because it is sort of like what happens... I've been studying a lot of Melee recently. You might have been able to tell based on how much I reference it, but there's a saying there where neutral is neutral until you get the grab. Like, until you start the punish, because once you start punishing them, they have the same options as everyone else. So, I feel like Ziglet needs to play a very safe neutral, just wait for their chance, and then don't drop the punish. Because we did see 1 or 2 0 to death attempts fail. Like, you gotta realize that Bryce is gonna be doing the optimal stuff. They're a very good player. They're gonna be SDIing away and down. They're gonna be doing all sorts of stuff to trip you up. But Luigi 0 to death, it's still true, even with all that. So, Ziglet, it's up to you to make sure your execution is on point. Because I have faith. I've seen it happen. It's just going to be tough.
Yeah, and it will... At the end of the day, I think it will come down to Bryce and Hydra again as the best players on their respective teams. Obviously, every other player has to perform around them, but that matchup, Hydra not comfortably winning that matchup was part of the reason why JJ was able to take over. And if Bryce is able to just straight up win that matchup, it'll be very difficult for Artie to make that entire comeback happen. So, something to watch. And we don't even know. Maybe Ziglet will just take out Bryce solo. I don't know. It's Luigi versus Heavy. It's not impossible.
We've seen stranger things happen. And this is a character they have been prepping for. A player they have been prepping for since last season. The issue is, are you going to be able to do it now? Again, like, we talk about an endurance test, and besides the fact that this stream is going on for a while, it is also the fact that sometimes fighting DDD can feel like an endurance test in how long it's just... Oh, I get to stop filling. Bryce has made his appearance. 3 stocks on Bryce, 2 on Ziglet. Is this the button check? Did Ziglet... Has it been so long since the last game that Ziglet forgot he was down a stock? No, I think this is a button check.
I feel like it has to be a button check.
They're trying to hit each other.
It looks like they're trying to hit each other.
Ziglet! Someone tell him!
Maybe a bit of forgetfulness, but I'm sure the players will get it sorted out. sooner rather than
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
It looks like Ziglet has figured out what the problem was. So
Yeah, I think Bryce is okay to play with that 15%. Oh wait,
okay,
yeah,
I think
they're
I
just
think we're gonna
restarting. They're
reset
just
this
restarting.
one.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
call that one a button
perfectly.
check. We'll call that one a button check.
Yeah, it was a button check. I'm like,
Uh,
it took so long to ban stages, they forgot. Come on, Ann, where are the replays on that one? There's a lot of good play there.
we'll call that one a button check. So yeah, it will be Bryce though, up against Ziglet here. Same order as last time. We'll see if Bryce can have the same domination as last time. Because part of the reason why it was so scary for Hydra is that it was just a straight up 3-on-3 against Bryce, and we saw how close that was. A second of hesitation was all it took between those two. So we'll see if Ziglet actually takes the stock properly this time. There we go.
There we
It'd
go.
be great if Nintendo actually made crew battle a thing.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That's a
It'd
funny
it'd be really easy too.
Yeah. But will instead be getting the reflect on the Gordo right there playing. Like I said, very careful neutral, searching for that one grab. A lot of Zairs coming out here, but the Gordo combos right now gonna get the percentage starting to rack up on Ziglet, but just again, one stock off is all you need to give Hydra that advantage.
And Bryce trying to play very patiently, trying to make sure that you don't miss out on any of those stocks that you might have up against Ziglet here. And Ziglet's doing a pretty good job racking up the percent so far. A little bit ahead. All you need is just one stock here. And it feels so much better for this overall matchup. And Ziglet's definitely finding things a bit better than last time, so Bryce is going to have to adapt a bit, going to have to find things that aren't the Gordon, because it looks like Ziglet's playing really well around Gordon here.
Will be trying to approach from above, stalling menacingly above, but Ziglet holds on, keeps his wits about him. Using the iframe right there to dodge that up smash. That's good, but going right into the Gordon. Not going to get two framed by that side B. Is the back throw going to kill it? Will! As Ziglet gets that initial stock and taunts. Come on, Ziglet. You just got one stock.
Ziglet's feeling excited, though. I like the confidence. I like the confidence quite a bit.
74%! Over that combo!
Yeah, Ziglet's in a position to take more than one stock here. This is even. This is truly even. The misfire actually connects. I'm surprised Bryce let that happen.
Reflecting the fireball right there is, just dashing forward and shielding until the final up smash does whiff. Ziglet pressuring the ledge, but the Gordon is stopping any more aggression there. Ziglet can't be spamming those down tilts at all, but able to fall out at such a high percent of that Luigi Tornado, but Ziglet's up a stock over Bryce.
Yeah, Ziglet's up a stock over Bryce. This is still NJCU's player. I mean, if this is a win for Ziglet, then you can virtually guarantee that NJCU wins this one. I don't think JJ can get through 3 members, and
Angry Ziglet is not a myth. I have seen it because
Ziglet do just be getting. That was at 39. Okay, Bryce, I see how it is.
The ledge trapping, it covered every option. You couldn't jump, you couldn't stay on ledge, you couldn't roll, probably. I'm not actually sure if on Wi-Fi you could roll and react there. I'm sure the spacing covered it or something. But, Ziglet, you could taste victory, but at least you got quite a bit done for your team. 6 stocks to 4 is nothing to scoff at, especially when you look at who's piloting those last 6 stocks.
Yeah, that's the thing. You move into Hydra now, and Hydra has a decent chance of just taking 3 stocks up against JJ, and even if not, I think that Hydra can probably take care of Bryce and then JJ with 3 stocks. If not, Artie can definitely do 1 stock versus 3. Even if Hydra just goes even, which it feels like Hydra is way too good to just go even. Ziglet offered a lot there. Ziglet provided so much for this NJC team. Bryce still could bring something back against Hydra. Still there is the potential. but it was difficult in that first matchup against Hydra. Was getting hit by a lot of attacks. Was finding a couple of Gordons in return, able to find hits, almost won. As we have said, almost won that one. But I think the big issue is just how many stocks can Bryce take up against Hydra here. Could you get it to that same 4-3 point that St. Joseph's won last time? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. It is going to be a tougher ask this time, given that Bryce only has one stock to work with rather than the 3. But if you can find 2 of those cheesy kills, maybe you find a off-stage duck move. Maybe you find the big forward smash as we saw it took Ziglet's stock there. It is Hydra again. It would have been weird if it was already, and then I'm like, actually, already the whole time.
Surprise!
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bryce is actually a pioneer of a really, really important technique in crew battles called remembering to SD so you don't have to restart. As they will bump their head on that little ice pillar down there.
All right, always the early auto reticle.
You know it, and it hits the Gordo too. Covers everything. As there's the Nair. I like dragging Bryce back on stage because he can't really combo DDD off stage that well.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, air dodging
really
to
air
ledge
dodge,
to avoid that explosive flame. Smart. Bryce will end up being caught by the Nair in up air, but gonna be saved from the bulk of the damage, and getting the Nair out of shield too is gonna help. But just jump right on. As they do actually get sharked right there by that explosive flame. Climbing up in percent, Hydra looking quite good. What's this?
It's gotta be scary for Bryce at this point. You're getting near rage though. If you can find rage, maybe you find a kill. I think that 4-3 points what you gotta aim for, but it's getting difficult even here to find one.
Down throw, Bryce is going to DI that correctly and immediately air dodge in to regain stage control. Keeping Hydra in the corner right now. Smart thing to do, but, ooh. It's such a good strat, just dropping down that Gordo from this blast zone. I love to see it. But, Hydra covering the ledge. Neutral get up, not going to be covered. Bryce delaying that just long enough. They actually get the shield poke up for the auto reticle.
Close to a shield break just from all the Gordon damage. Same thing that got you last time.
It's gotta hurt. The dash attack into the grab at ledge. I understand why DDDs like to go for the dash attack. Come on, it's a big old flop.
It's funny. It's a funny move. Unfortunately, just getting hit by the same thing as last time where Hydra able to shield it in time and hit the returning back throw. So it will be Hydra taking all 3 stocks up against JJ, and it feels like we might be heading for game number 3, you know?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a real possibility, as JJ was a good player. Actually did keep it obviously beat Artie, and also did okay against Hydra. Did feel like they were being controlled for a significant portion of it, but they were very ready to capitalize on any mistakes Hydra made, which is important. But 6 stocks of Palutena right now with 3? You have to take 2 stocks for every 1, and 3 stocks somewhere along the way, so that's rough.
Not to discount JJ, but when down 4-3, 2 of those stocks were high percentage SDs. They very well could have gone the other way, and NJCU could have just taken it right there. Not to discount anything there, but even still, with just a little bit cleaner play from the side of NJCU, we could very easily see JJ losing to Hydra, honestly. I would not be surprised to see that happen. And Artie in the back, definitely there in case Hydra does end up losing on a even footing matchup. Like this is just an even footing matchup between Hydra and JJ, and Hydra has not lost a matchup like that, as Hydra has almost always been the anchor. Therefore, because they've never lost a single game before, Hydra has never lost a 3-stock to 3-stock matchup with someone.
I've only seen it happen once, and it was to a Bowser Jr. player. Hydra did come back and 3-stock them the next time, so that does give you an idea of what Hydra is like when they're down. Hydra just wants to end this right now, and they're not willing to play games. Is immediate stock lead over JJ, but JJ's playing it smart, searching for these Squirtle combos. They know.
Yeah, and it's staying with Squirtle a lot longer than previous. Now is going to the Ivysaur. Which honestly did not get a ton of value out of the Ivysaur previously. It was mostly out of the Charizard, which now we're seeing the Charizard.
That was almost such an early stock. The low ceilings on Yoshi coming back to bite him as Charizard sent off stage. Getting at the 2-frame, but not go for the surprise down air right there. Learning from Artie's mistakes and not getting hit by that random side B either. Not this time, says Hydra.
That got it last time. And now JJ's in a bit of trouble.
And waiting for the twitch right there in the juggle. That was smart from Hydra. Getting that extra % on. But now it will be JJ control the neutral just a little bit. But again, this is just a regular 3-stock set. I mean, they need to win this twice.
Ooh, very clever on there. Catching the switch out. Hydra has definitely been looking at JJ's patterns and caught that switch very well, and that explosive flame was also big. Not very effective damage, but still got it there. Now JJ just needs to find something, but I don't know what you're gonna find here, as Hydra still has all 3 stocks to work with, and might be in for a bit of a one-sided scoreline for this game number 2.
Reverse auto reticle not going to catch anything. Nice idea. As Hydra is instead going to get the juggle going in the up air. Yeah, no way you're getting out of that one. Not the best SDI in the world. As will be Hydra getting the 3-stock over JJ, saving NJCU's bacon as they get the 6-0 this time. But still tied up 1-1 with the side of St. Joseph's University. Going to have to be going to a game crew battle 3. Get 9 more stocks, and NJCU moves on to the semifinals. And take a look at this.
Very clean. Hydra's so clean. That's the issue here, is that I think if you are St. Joseph's, you have to have a fully stocked up, completely blank. It has been a long night. I'm completely blanking on King D2D, but you have to have a fully stocked up King D2D to face off against Hydra in order to really have much of a chance, and that's what they had in game number 1. But game number 2, I think you've got to say the highlight was Ziglet able to take a couple of stocks from King D2D, which I think really turned things in NJCU's favor, as Hydra was able to play with a bit more comfort into these matchups, and Artie never had to come out at all. So we've got game number 3 coming up. Do you think that St. Joseph's changes up anything now? The Bowser matchup into Luigi looks a little bit worse now that the King Dedede matchup into Luigi is also pretty bad. Do you think they send out JJ a little bit earlier this time? See if they can find a couple of early stocks onto Ziglet and follow it up. Maybe see where it goes from there?
Yeah, I think that would be the best mix-up, to be honest, throwing in JJ. I don't see any other realistic scenario in which Bowser doesn't get 3 stocks. Maybe 2 stocks if they clean up their play, but it hasn't been looking amazing for that Bowser. Um, yeah, Luigi. Honestly, Ziggler has been getting spoiled. The double heavies, opening up every single battle, a little too much, even for me.
Yeah, it's a really comfortable matchup, and I think that it might be best just to get Ziggler off of their game because it clearly did not work that time. It was clearly the squeaky wheel right there where Ziggler was able to get a ton of stocks off of the front end of things, and JJ was never really able to get off the ground. I think that you might just want to. I think you really do just want to send out JJ first, try to throw Ziggler off. Ziggler has not seen this Pokemon trainer yet, at least not fought the Pokemon trainer yet. So at the very least, maybe you'll get Ziggler out of the way early. Maybe you end up against Artie second. You can end up with Anchors fighting at the very end. I think if you go into that at least 2-3 in stocks, either way, you feel decent. It's going to be difficult, though. St. Joseph's definitely very narrowly took that first game, and with how that second game went, it's got to feel a lot more worrying as to where this series will continue onward.
Yeah. We talk a lot about the NJCU's adaptation, and well, I mean, I think we are within our rights to root for NJCU.
It's our job.
It is our job. We do have to give credit to the fact that other players can adapt too. It's not just NJCU who gradually gets better with every set, so do the other players. But the question is, what kind of adaptations are you going to make after that loss? Because it's going to be tough for them. Like, we got to be honest.
I think you do have to just switch up the matchups. We are getting into this one, and it will be Loki switching. Okay, that's not what I meant by switching up the matchups, but we're just gonna see the Palutena. I have to assume Ziggler is familiar with the Palutena matchup, considering all the Palutenas on the team, but it's something different. It's not a heavy.
Yeah, the fact that Ziggler practices with quite literally one of the best Palutenas on Wi-Fi is gonna make this tough, but in the end, they still have very, very good tools. You can't deny that. But going for that low percentage Gimp, gonna teleport right through the Zaire, as that's gonna be a 0 to death.
And while that went poorly, that is also how the first game, or how the first stock of Bowser went last time. The question is, how much worse can it go? And I like the mix-up, at least on that sense, where it cannot get much worse than how it went previously. So if you're going to send out Loki again, maybe switch up the characters, see if you can take more than one stock off of Ziggler. If Ziggler ends up 3-stocking, then maybe it was not the best call in the world, but honestly, at this rate, it does seem like Ziglet's in a good spot to 3-stock.
It's definitely within Ziglet's rights, but all they really need is one opening. The question is this a real counterpick, or is this a matchup counterpick? Did they look up Luigi matchup chart online and look at what Elegant said? Because, I mean, I haven't really seen any combos. They're using Palutena zoning tools pretty well, but not much.
I'll be honest, ooh, that was good.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I feel like more than anything else, it just needed to be different. It just needed to be not Bowser. And I think in that sense, the counterpick has worked fairly well. Not great, mind you, but if Loki can find one more stock here, then St. Joseph's is looking in a better spot than they were in even game one at this point in time.
As chaining together those nairs will give some decent damage, but not before that down B will get away the stock. Ziggler, though, is in disadvantage. Loki has a chance to get one more stock off the board, do a little bit better than they ever have before, and with the way this is looking, I'm not sure, but with that, you need to hit the punish, but hey, look, Ziggler actually falls through the platform right there, mixing Loki up. Loki went to up here the platform. Wrong direction, though. You're not looking the right way, son.
This is one of those high percentage situations that be very close if Loki can find a big stock here. That could mean huge things for the match. Good job on Ziglet avoiding that explosive flame going below it.
Dash attack almost taking
Ooh, I thought
air
that was
dodge
gonna do it.
in. Saves Loki's life. They knew what to do, and whiffing that up smash is going to leave Ziglet open to a punish. Loki getting the percentage racked up. A good back air into an edge guard right here could be the finisher, but rolling into Ziglet, oh, that was scary. I know Ziglet was thirsty for that one, but the double spot dodge with all that rage into the Luigi Cyclone is going to be the stock taker. Even though it was a much different match, it's still a 6 going into the next one.
It's still the exact same result with Ziglet keeping 2 stocks up into this next matchup. I like what Loki went for, and it went a little bit better than those previous instances, but even still, you get into that 1 stock hole early on, you're just trying to dig your way out of it, and Ziglet definitely has the tools to both rack up percent and then finish off those kills.
Mm-hmm.
You can see. Yeah, that tornado. Used the tornado a lot less this time, probably because Palutena is a little bit more difficult of a target to land that on than something like the Bowser, but still able to find those in order to finish off the kills. Here, it was very close. Ziglet did a really good job at also going under the explosive flame. And I guess in the same way, Loki didn't necessarily do a great job at forcing Ziglet into the explosive flame, not really catching where Ziglet was going with it and just kind of doing it near where the edge was going to be and not necessarily where the Luigi was going to be.
Yeah, as now comes the real time. I feel like Bryce. Was it Brian? No, it was Bryce.
It was Bryce. You got it. I've been trying to figure it out the past 15 minutes and I have just not remembered it. It was Bryce.
I feel like out of all the players, Bryce does have the greatest chance of actually adapting and not getting 3 stock. If they're able to get the 2 stock right now, very real chance for SJU to come back into this. But based on, I don't know. Maybe it is recency bias, but I have my faith in Ziglet.
I mean, Ziglet did a good job in the last matchup they had between the two. I don't know what happens. Maybe St. Joseph's wants to try their chances with JJ up in this matchup, but honestly, Bryce did a perfectly fine job in the first game, but then in the second game, didn't do the same results, and maybe Bryce just wants to run it back, says, okay, I got caught with a couple of Luigi things last time. I know how to get through them this time. I'm going to do it this time. I can do this. Or if they want to try for something different, because the narrow win in game number 1 was not very impressive necessarily, and game number 2 definitely showed a lot of the reasons why they wouldn't necessarily want to run it back in the exact same way. So if they do decide to run it back in the exact same way, I'll be a little confused at least. So.
Yeah, I would join you in that confusion. I don't really see any possibility of that. I think Bryce coming in over JJ is the correct option. I think you want to get Ziglet out of the way and then hopefully get a decent shot at Hydra. But Hydra showed, even with 1 stock, they can still pose a threat, significant threat to JJ. And that's the scary thing. We're just waiting to get into this now. Our final crew battle. Remember, tied up 1-1. Winner goes to the semifinals, and I don't think there's a losers bracket here in ECAC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I don't believe there is either. Winner moves forward and the loser gets eliminated. These are big stakes, and going to the semifinals, I mean, NJCU came into this undefeated, no game losses, top seed. You want to keep moving on in bracket. You don't want to be eliminated in quarterfinals. That's for the number 1 overall seed. You want to be doing a lot better than that. So, as the #1 overall seed. NJCU's got to have a bit of pressure on their back moving forward in the series, but St. Joseph's as well. I mean, their backs are up against the wall at this point. They're down 8 stocks to 6, which they have every single time this series, both in their win and their loss, but that is still a deficit, and you always have to be concerned. Maybe this is just going to be the end of the road for St. Joseph's, despite the win earlier today against Nazareth, despite the win in game #1. They got so close to making it all the way to semifinals, but you can only get so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does get a little heartbreaking at some points.
Load screen.
There's a load screen.
It's JJ. All right. I like this switch up. I think they needed to change something, and I think this is a good change. Squirtle can... Hey, Ziglet remembered to take the stock this time.
It's hard. It's hard. Sometimes it happens. You're doing all those bans, and you forget that, oh, this stage I chose, I need to run off of it.
As you can see there, Squirtle can kind of dodge out of these combos a little bit easier, being a bit lighter and slipperier of a target, so definitely I like this matchup a bit more because you do have the Squirtle at the start, and then the Charizard
ladder
to finish off
combos.
Ooh.
66% of a 1-up air, following Ziglet all the way across the stage around the world. Nice stuff from JJ. Really impressed, to be honest. But now you get
even with that, even without the top battlefield platform, it's impressive what was able to be done in terms of ladder comboing there.
And dashing away into the Razor Leaf is going to get the opportunity to get Ziglet off stage. I'm liking this play from JJ right now.
It's getting pretty close for both players. Definitely if you're JJ, you want to be in a position to play like normal up against Artie, who would presumably come second. But
maybe dropping shield.
You do feel like you have that kind of security, I guess.
Yes, JJ is trying their best to just get that one kill move. The Rage is climbing up. That Charizard, it's incredibly lethal if you can hit anything. And Ziglet playing incredibly evasive, always covering their approaches with a fireball. But now that's going to be onto the platform. Yeah, you're gone.
Yep. And that is a good stock by JJ. Another great job with the Charizard, making sure that you don't eat the KO yourself. Having that extra weight is very important there, but also just finding that grab and able to do it. Does take one there. The big deal, I think, here, I think this stock is the big deal because 2-on-3, I think if this ends like that, then St. Joseph's has to be reasonably happy with how things went, but if they can take one more stock, then you're risking Bryce coming in just a little bit too early. At the very least, it does not have to be up against Ziglet. Definitely the scariest matchup, considering past results, but already pretty good job by JJ.
Yeah. Doing a great job of shutting down, but both rolling towards center stage right there. Gonna keep the stage positions, the dynamic, more or less the same, but Ziglet does have the platform to work off of. There. Forcing them into the Charizard form. Ziglet's at the percent for it, but this opens you up to a lot of damage.
Ziglet knows how to play against heavies.
Especially tonight. But whiffing that up B, but getting the real punish. That could have been much bigger than it was. Going above the fire, but not going to be enough. 2 stocks right there. Still on the board for SJU, 6-5. A much more doable stock count right there.
Yeah, JJ definitely getting the job done right there. Ziglet mathematically definitely did the job, but I think this will depend a lot on this next matchup between JJ and Artie. See there, great job by JJ, just making sure that you're not eating Luigi stuff. Here does get caught by the up smash out of shield, but right there, Ziglet definitely going for it all there. And that misfire, I don't know that the misfire necessarily helped because JJ was just able to capitalize off the back end of it. Yeah, you see, missing that up B was huge. Even though it did not KO directly, it put Ziglet so far off the stage, and even with a slow character like Charizard, you have so many options to take care of that.
Mm-hmm. And I think Siglet might have been dead either way, because the Flame Breath was already going strong right at the ledge right there, so it wouldn't have been easy to get back onto the stage, but Siglet holding strong. Now, what do you think? Artie or Hydra coming in next?
I think you have to have Artie. I don't think you want to risk Hydra at this point. I think you just do the traditional setup. And, I mean, Artie did not play horribly against JJ last time in game number 1. It was just that last SD getting caught by the flamethrower out of the offstage option. It was very close. That was a very close matchup on the 3v2 there. So I would expect that they're just going to go with Artie. If Artie can win, then you feel pretty good about your chances of Artie, even without taking one stock, just leaving it to Hydra versus... I'm blanking on the name again.
Bryce.
Bryce. Why am I always blanking on Bryce?
Ooh, getting right in the next game. Good job, guys. Keeping the supply line moving. As it is going to be Artie coming in here. Nice read right there, Turquoise.
Let's go.
Starting out on FD.
But it also has to be scary for Artie here, knowing that JJ was able to get some stuff done against Hydra in the first instance. Artie lost a 2v3 last time, albeit it was incredibly close, but still, always have to be worried about it. And there's the punish coming out.
25% Artie? Come on. As JJ is going to get Artie off stage and into the up airs. Artie trying to regain their footing, but Nair, well, that's a good mental reset if I ever saw one myself. A nice chunky Nair playing, but not going to extend it into much else. As Artie just continues to really just going for these short hop aerials, not going to connect. Getting the Nair though. JJ playing it safe, playing it secure, but didn't expect the counter, the neutral counter. A lot better than a lot of people give it credit for, at least when you're not expecting it. Not dipping quite too low that time, and JJ actually does not space correctly. Just get it. Gets hit by the get up attack right away. But...
that was very tip of the tail right there.
Ooh,
I'm trying to figure out the exact percent numbers that JJ is using to switch between the Pokemon, because it's like 45-ish for Ivysaur, and then like 88, like early 90s for Charizard. It's very methodical, I guess. Oh wow, I did not expect that to catch.
Yeah.
Potentially going to be very scary there, but that's big for Artie, taking that one, going fairly even on those first ones.
35% already is some meaty damage right there for Palutena. Going to be getting that onto JJ, on the Squirtle no less, so... But, you know JJ's got the combo game on lock. Experience PT main right here, ladies and gentlemen. As Artie gonna be caught by the Razor Leaf on the get up off of the ledge. Playing it.
And Artie was able to gain a lot of that percentage last time against the Charizard in particular. Of course, the Charizard a bit favored by JJ, I'd say, but definitely is able to allow some of that combo potential, albeit being a bit lighter and having a bit more kill potential, but...
JJ went for it all.
That was...
The player
I don't know
blitzing
what
all
that one was
across
for.
stage. Where are they going? They're just confusing Artie just as much as they're confusing us, which could prove to be detrimental. One mistake right now from Artie, and that's going to be the stock. You don't want to lose that. Not right here, not right now. You want a fair shot up against Bryce. They're going to get the back there up, but the rage isn't enough. Artie, all of a sudden, is going to get the forward smash. Says, my wings are better than yours, and uses them to send them straight off the side into the Minecraft world. As Palutena gonna be taking that home.
Yeah, definitely a very good job by Artie there, taking a felling the demon, I guess you could say. And that will be... I think Artie basically has already done their job in this sense. JJ's out of the picture. Maybe you get one stock onto Bryce, but you can see here that Artie did pretty good job on that second stock, trying to not take as much damage because those Squirtle combos were really hurting early on, as well as the Ivysaur was actually doing a lot. The early Charizard switch didn't really help JJ, and the normal get up there was just maybe red, but maybe just able to be reacted to is a very quick forward smash. Not necessarily a favored move because a lot of the time you just miss and give them a comforting, gentle breeze, but very perfectly spaced right there onto that gigantic dinosaur target.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a dinosaur at all. It's a dragon.
Yeah. No. I feel like JJ might have gotten a little more value if they had maybe, just maybe, gone to the Squirtle at high percent when they got a stock. Like, it's risky. I will admit, it's risky. But with a Squirtle, you can get a grab and get a 60% combo. With Charizard, you're just fishing for some stray hits, and you might live like one hit more. But ultimately, I feel like the Squirtle would have gotten more value. What do you think about that?
I think that's definitely possible. I think that in general, JJ had some issues with just the fact that I think JJ could have stayed with the smaller Pokemon for a little bit longer because they can pancake a little easier. They can get around Explosive Flame a little easier. They can dodge the Palutena Nairs a little easier. You were seeing there that for a while, Charizard was just combo food for Artie, and the same thing was happening a little bit against Zigglet. So I kind of would have preferred if you go with something like either the Squirtle, as you said, who definitely has great combo material and can at the very least get the opponent up to a decent percent threshold before you get inevitably blown up because you're a tiny little Squirtle, or even an Ivysaur who can still fish for stuff like the up air or the down air off stage, the up air into Vine Whip ladder combos, anything like that where potentially you would find something a little bit silly. You still have the Razor Leaf in order to cover long distances. You still have the Nair in order to kind of have that quick aerial move. There's a lot you still have at your disposal, and you're not as much of a sitting duck as when you're playing Charizard. So I really think that you're absolutely right there, that Charizard, not necessarily the greatest call in the world to stick with for such a long period of time.
Well, it's all in the past now.
It is all in the past.
We're now going to get to see Artie go up against Bryce. A matchup we haven't seen yet. And I'm honestly pretty curious for how it's going to go out. Because, well, I don't think it was the worst time that Artie had against Bryce. Or that DDD has against Palutena. I feel like Bryce is just such a good player that they can get the hard reads. Like, when they get the ledge trap into the hard forward smash onto Zigglet. But I
think the big issue here is going to end up being how much Artie can take here. I don't think Artie is going to finish this single-handedly, but if Artie can take 2 stocks, that is gigantic. If Artie can take even 1 stock, that is a pretty significant lead for Hydra to work with as the one who won this matchup previously on a 3-on-3. So it's definitely going to be a question here of what Artie can do. How much can Artie do? That's big damage with the Gordon there.
Yeah, getting the down throw, not going to follow up with it. Playing safe, playing secure. Artie, an early percentage lead and rolling right through the forward tilt into the grab. Just using these lack of options. Did you just go for a stock trade? That was kind of wacky. But
I don't know. It might have been expecting. I have no. I'll be honest. I don't know what that one was to be. I want to explain it as something other than a stock trade, but Bryce can't be stock trading at this point. Taking a ton of damage though. You don't want this to be happening early on when you really. Best case scenario for Bryce at this point is a straight up one-on-one with Hydra, which is not a great scenario, but is at least less catastrophic than having to play against Hydra at a significant disadvantage, and that's big. That's big right there. As we were kind of criticizing Bryce a little bit, found Artie in the corner and The Gordon combos just moving through. That was smart. That was very smart. Moving forward for the grab when already is tied up in the counter animation, which does not counter grabs. Counters everything else. Same thing happens there. Artie's just kind of getting caught at this point.
Yeah, Bryce definitely starting to get the reads. Final 3 stocks for SJU, looking a lot better than I would have expected as Artie drifts back to avoid that, but the teleport doesn't come out fast enough. And this is as close to losing as we have ever seen NJCU get. Literally.
Yeah, we are just straight up seeing the finale here. There was an incredibly close matchup before between Bryce and Hydra, and now we're seeing that again. Bryce and Hydra both at 3 stocks. That will just decide this matchup. That'll decide who's going to ECAC semis. And here again, Hydra just kind of getting caught. There's so much that the DDD is throwing out, and Artie is just not really countering with that pressure that you really need to be exerting in order to make sure that the DDD feels less comfortable. Bryce really just found the comfort zone in the middle of that stock and just stopped getting hit from then on, was always putting Artie in a disadvantaged state. And here we are.
Here we are, the final countdown. 3 stocks to 3 stocks. Smash Brothers at its purest, ladies and gentlemen. As folks, we're getting into this. I'll be honest, I feel a lot of confidence for NJCU, but I'm not fully confident. I think there is a very real possibility that Hydra could go down here. Bryce was looking on fire against Artie, but Hydra is a different beast altogether. So
absolutely true. Absolutely true.
If you're still sticking with us after all this time, get popping in the chat, folks.
Chat's popping off for both teams.
if your players needed your support ever, now is the time. Bryce versus Hydra, best player versus best player, and on Smashville, it's gonna be very intimate. A lot of counters coming out from both Artie and Hydra, but instead,
yeah, they might have seen it as a way to get around the Gordo, but Bryce has definitely found that as a weak spot, able to just walk up and grab in the case of a counter being used. So might be something they have to opt away from, instead just hit the Gordon. Or shield the Gordon, I suppose.
Oh, jumping right into the forward air. The read on Hydra's option. Aggressive back to stage. Hydra can't be doing that again, as Bryce is going to read that one. Getting Bryce above him, as tend to do, but going right into the Gorda.
The lingering Gordon.
Slight disadvantage. Hydra actually had a percentage deficit. They hung on ledge too long. They forgot it hits ledge, and just like that, Hydra is down a stock. This is risky. Remember, if Hydra loses this one, NJCU, they lose their undefeated streak. They're out of the playoffs. So this is big, folks. Hydra needs to do well now. Going for the stock trade. Hydra on last stock.
It worked. Bryce just needs another stock trade like that, or if not, just needs to be finding one more stock. Hydra needs to play perfectly here in order to try to tie this one up. That was humongous from Bryce.
Taking that damage, it's not going to help. This could be the upset of the entire ECAC right here, folks. This is grand finals before the grand finals. As Bryce, this is scary right here. Going towards the ledge, but not going for that forward air read. Instead, just throwing out the Gordo, which is going to catch Hydra there.
Yeah, it's got to be scary. Hydra's definitely playing with some nerves here. Scared of all those stray Gordon. Trying to find Bryce here. Needs to get an early stock. It's a very concerning spot because DDD is quite a bit heavier than Palutena. You've always got to be worried about that. How long is Bryce going to be able to live past 100?
And they keep crossing up Bryce's shield, which is messing up their shield grabs, but Bryce being very stubborn with this. Oh, I was very scared, but the up smash, it's going to do it, and NJCU! The god has been slain, and DDD does a little happy face right there. What a way to go out against Bryce.
Incredible job from Bryce and from all of the St. Joseph's team making this one happen. Bryce definitely finding some interesting stocks here using DDD to the utmost potential. There's the up smash. That was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Hydra just getting caught on that top platform, just getting caught by the big hitboxes of King DDD, while able to rack up the percentage a lot of the time, wasn't really able to find those kill moves when it counted, and DDD has the enormous kill moves.
Yeah, I feel like the way Bryce just went for the trade to put Hydra in a last stock situation, it just ramped up the nerves so well. And that's what DDD's best at, giving you the nerves in these tournaments. And I don't think Hydra cracked, so they say, but you're at a disadvantage. There's not a lot you can do right there. As 5 consecutive stocks is nothing to scoff at right now. SJU definitely did earn this win, but it's gotta feel bad after that first crew battle. It's gotta.
There's a lot to look back on this series. An incredible series, to be completely honest. So much fantastic gameplay that we got between these two teams. A lot to look back on for NJCU. A lot to look back on for St. Joseph's. They definitely did not play perfect. They lost that second game very convincingly, and that first game definitely could have been a loss. This could have easily been another 2-0 for NJCU, but absolutely credits to St. Joseph's for making that one happen and for really pulling that one out for the victory. Did get a little bit of a feature from our producer. Some of the plays from this game. That was huge. That moment was gigantic because that was a very low percentage Hydra. I think that was really what turned around that entire game, because really you look at it and you say, if Hydra had just gotten that edge guard, or not even done anything, just avoided, not gotten hit by anything, maybe you're down 30% the next time that you go when Bryce gets to stock number 2. But in that case, you're down a full stock, and that is incredibly difficult to come back from, even though Bryce was able to then just take that next stock straight up. It's so difficult mentally to come back from a play like that. Bryce just playing a character like King DDD absolutely perfectly. Incredible play.
And with that, that brings us not only to the end of our stream, but the end of the NJCU season. Falling 2-1 to SJU, not going to be getting the 3 CAC, unfortunately, but magnificent run they had. But thank you all for joining us for it here on NJCU Esports. Get updates on what we're going to be doing next season, and for all of our other teams who are still in the playoffs, I believe. Make sure to follow all of our social media, our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. Get all the updates up to speed, and of course, always contact us. We're always open for hearing what you have to say there at our email. But for now, I have been KiloMiles, casting with TurquioseYoshi, with Aeon as always on production. Thank you all for joining us this season. It's been a pleasure working with you all, and I'll see you all next season.